Good evening, Twitch. Hey, it's Ashton coming at you from the Eden server, Final Fantasy 11, and I haven't streamed in about 3 weeks. I've had a lot of family functions to attend to. A couple weeks ago, had to go to a wake for my best friend's wife's father passed away. It was very unfortunate. And last week I had another family function that I had to go to. But here we are, back at it, and I don't really have much of a to-do list tonight. If you have been watching my stream in the past, I usually have a couple of things that I on like a to-do list, kind of. I do not have that necessarily tonight, but I have an idea of a couple things I want to do. So, a few things that have happened since since the last time I streamed. I've hit 75. I don't think that had happened since the last time that I had streamed. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a couple of probably NM solos to kind of showcase some of the stuff that Beastmaster can do. You know, some of the stuff might not be super interesting to the players out there who are not that interested in Beastmaster, but it does show off the power of the job quite a bit. So we'll be doing some of that. And we're going to start tonight with a camp where we're inevitably going to have to wait for some respawns. We're going to try to camp Aquarius. And Aquarius is a notorious monster crab. He is a lottery spawn off of these robber crabs that spawn around the tree here. And we're going to be doing that. They're 60-minute respawns, so it is a bit lengthy, but we'll try to make it interesting for you. We'll have a nice sit-down chat discussion kind of thing, and you know, we'll talk about all sorts of things. I actually have to log into Discord on my PC. I haven't done that in a while, and since then, since the last time I logged in, I enabled two-factor authentication, so I'm gonna have to bring that up here so I can get back in and post what's going on the Eden Discord itself. So, alrighty. So I haven't really been paying too much attention to this particular battle because I've been doing some other stuff. Alrighty, but we want to make sure we keep them sort of, these robber crabs dying at a regular pace here. That's kind of important. Now, we came as sub-thief for this, so we're looking for treasure hunter stuff. We're really trying to get the drop off of Aquarius, which is the Damascene cloth. I've gotten one in the past. Actually, the one of the 2 times I didn't come /white mage, I got the drop, which was hilarious to me. Alrighty, so here we are. We're in the Boyata tree, and now my experience with this has been that yes, thank you. I am back. I am back, buddy. My experience with Aquarius. Now I've looked at the DSP files, which is kind of cheating, I guess. But the DSP files say that Aquarius has 9 placeholders, and that actually maths out pretty well because in this little lake that you can see just ahead of me, there are 5. Over ahead of me by that Nightcrawler, there's 1 more. That makes 6. And then this little strip of a stream that is sort of out of view now has 3. So that makes a total of 9 robber crabs. However, I have never seen him spawn in the 7, maybe 8 kills I have of him. I have never seen him spawn off of a robber crab that wasn't one of these. Now, the numbers skew a little bit towards this particular pool because it does have the most amount of the spawns. I mean, 5 out of the 9, right? But it seems kind of odd to me that he's never spawned off of anything other than these particular robber crabs. I find that kind of strange. So the last couple of times I came out here to camp, I kind of recognized that, and I only killed the 5 in there, and I did get him to spawn. And now he is a lottery spawn, so every kill technically just gives you a chance for the lotto to run, and he doesn't have a minimum respawn time. So technically you could kill Aquarius and he could spawn off of himself again. I imagine that would be incredibly rare, but if you are talking about just a flat percentage pop, then the odds of it are just as likely as it is unlikely, I guess, if you think about it. But anyway, so yeah, I've done a couple different things. Like I've killed all 9 of them. I killed the 5 and the 1 over here to the east of the tree, or west, yeah, east of the tree. I've done all that stuff, and I've really only ever seen it spawn off one of the 5 in the pool here. And you can tell which one it spawns off of because it'll be the placeholder that will not be spawned. And that one has always been one of the ones in the pool here, which is very strange. So yeah, I'm not sure if, you know, in Eden's custom code, they have, and he'll always spawn right about where this robber crab I'm targeting is. I'm not sure if they custom coded it so that he's, you know, he only spawns like, what do you call it? Like he'll only spawn, you know, off of these 5 or whatever. I don't know. Rev is asking, why don't you get one of the Corrigans from up top? Mostly because the Corrigan will only last me 25 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. So Courier Carry can actually kill all 9 of these crabs with Familiar without needing to really be healed. Occasionally, I'll get a little lax on the sick, like the ready commands like I'm doing now. But yeah, it's mostly just so I don't have to run up and down every half an hour, because you're only going to get 1 round of spawns or 2 rounds of spawns if you do it with a Corrigan. So I have done it before. The first time I killed him, actually, I went and got a Corrigan, and I got it to spawn like off the first repop, so the time was not a problem. But here it's a problem because it's a long run. You know, it's like a 2-minute run to get up there, another 2 minutes to come down. I guess you could take the shortcut through the waterfall. But yeah, that's just why. It's not really anything crazy. It's just easier this way. Once they fix mobs running back, yeah, definitely, because then I wouldn't have to, you know, like, I have some comments about that, but yeah, it would, I guess so, because then I wouldn't have to worry about it running all the way back upstairs or whatever. So yeah, it would be fine. I've been pretty vocal about this one on the forums, actually. I do want the nav mesh issues to be fixed. I absolutely do. I think it's important that people are not allowed to game the system through mob pathing, and I don't think that that's happening on some like macro level where right now there's kite fights that are being won out there because of mob pathing and stuff like that. You know, there is no game of find the big rocks, is what I'm saying. But I actually don't think that when they fix nav mesh issues that they should revert mobs. They should also change it so that mobs walk back. I think they should keep the mob despawning in place, or mob despawning in place. Some of that is a Beastmaster quality of life change, I think. This job is just so much easier to solo or duo when you can convert mobs to the level that you want them. And you cannot do that if the mobs are always walking back. So yeah, I'm just not a big fan of that. I also don't like the drama that it brings. Like, I don't like the trains in Valkyrim. I don't like the trains in this area. I don't like the trains in Crawler's Nest. I think all that stuff really screws people over. And the other thing is, it should be noted, when you are the last person to zone, and you leave the zone empty, okay? So right now, I think I'm the only person in this zone. All right, I am, which is pretty typical for me. When I leave this zone, mob respawns will still happen, but mobs themselves will not move. So if I train a whole bunch of shit to the only entrance of Biometry. Mind you, there's only one entrance, right? And that's how most zones are. And someone else zones in while the zone is asleep, and they'll zone in. All the mobs will zerg them if they don't despawn. So I'm not a big fan of that because the mobs will not be walking back while no one's in the zone. So I don't like that particular element of the nav mesh fix. So I've been vocal about it. I've told God Mode about it. I've told Setzer about it. I'm pretty sure. And I posted it 3 or 4 times in the forum. So I really don't think that those two issues necessarily need to be fixed hand in hand. I think you should keep mob despawning in. It's just better, honestly. Like, converting mobs on Beastmaster is amazing. I get that it's kind of a selfish request, but there are so many more reasons not to allow mobs to walk back to their spawn. First of all, this is an era-accurate server, and that change was made way before 2007. Way before. And I don't see any reason why, if you're trying to capture retail 2007, that you would keep that particular feature in. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, you removed crab sushi because you realized it was out of era. Why would you try to keep something that, you know, was fixed, like, in era? Like, the real money trader stuff, I guess I'm okay with it for the most part. I have benefited from that significantly. I mean, I've sold like 4 pairs of Leaping Boots. I've made my gil there. I'm happy with that. But we also know what the motivation behind those changes was for Square Enix. And it was all to curb real money trading. Now, we don't have real money trading the way that a retail server is going to have. I'm sure we have it. You know, I've never gotten a tell from a gil seller. I don't know who those people are. I don't care to know who those people are. But what I would say is that reverting that change seems to make more sense in terms of vision. I don't know why it would be part of the vision to allow players to lock people into zones or have them die because you want some kind of launch title, you know, like launch era. You're not even talking 2007. You're talking about launch era feature, which only ever hindered players. It never, being able to train a bunch of mobs never helps a player, right? And I think when you're considering what features to keep and which ones to give away, that one doesn't help anybody. It never has. It never will. It only ever hindered you. You know, you don't want to. You really want to zone out of Selbina and get killed by 80 goblins? Like, no, you don't want to do that. You better watch out, Rev. Someone might be watching your tells or my tells. God, Bro Games. That probably was one of the sites too, right? Shit, I can't remember. You know, like FF11 Gil, all that stuff. I remember the one where I can't remember the URL exactly, but there was a site where people sold like their characters and stuff. And I did browse that one in my later time in Final Fantasy when I was starting to lose interest with the game. I mean, I was on top of the world in that game. I didn't have any content that I needed to actually finish. I didn't care about salvage. So what else the hell did I want? I mean, I had the relic I wanted. I was working on a relic I wasn't that interested in. I had every best in slot piece of gear for 75. I mean, the game lingered at 75 for so many years. Like, and the content and stuff was like, a lot of it was side grade stuff. Like, Einerjar added a couple of good pieces for idle gear. You know, the damage taken Valkyrie stuff. But C was all side grade bullshit as far as C itself, you know. Temenos, Apollyon was cool, but once you got the home mom you needed, you know, you were done with it. I feel like, you know, and Sky was the same. Like, you could force pop Sky, you could kill it at your own pace, you know, and there really was nothing more to do. So I did spend a lot of time looking at, the sites where I could sell my character, and I think it was something around like 6,000 I probably could have got for my character at the time. But I never pulled the trigger on it. I felt too loyal. I don't know, to the game. It felt scummy to sell my character. You know, I didn't want to be a real money trader. You know, it wasn't really about that life. So I don't know. I should probably just use a reward. I got plenty of deltas. But yeah, and I think about it, you know, I did lose my character after the salvage bans, and I thought, you know what? Maybe I should have just sold it off. Would have been a great idea. Would have gotten some of that money back, but you know, you never know. You know, when you're younger, you never really know what the future holds and all that business. And I don't know. I was so disinterested with this game at the time. I think it's taken a good 10 years for me to kind of be interested in again. And even then, like, my interest is very limited to, like, I ran a very big link shell. We were probably the most successful endgame link shell on Titan in the later years. And everyone wanted to join us, and we were very picky about things. But, you know, that the fame came with having a lot of players to manage all the time. And I thought to myself, you know what, there's so much stuff in this game where, like, you don't actually need an alliance to really do it. Like, obviously there was things like Iron Jar, and Dynamis was always good. Sort of the more people you had, the more stuff you could kill, and that was fine. And, you know, doing relic runs, there was definitely a sort of a give and take about, well, you know, we would really like to recruit another red mage, but do we really need another red mage kind of thing, you know? And those kind of thoughts went through my mind a lot as we sort of progressed through content and stuff. And nowadays, like, I look at Final Fantasy and I say, you know, people on this server, they play the game very smart, and that's great for them, but it's also a hindrance to other players. You know, I've been in bird parties, I've been in other parties where people are just like, oh, why are you here as Dark Knight? Why are you here as Blue Mage? Well, you invited them on those jobs, you know, or why are you here on Samurai without a polearm skill? And it's just like, you know, when you try to play this game so efficiently, it's awesome. Fine. You're going to be in a bird party. You're going to get like 20K an hour. That's great. I love those parties. But it shouldn't come at the cost of, like, alienating people in your community because they play a certain job. Like, Dark Knight is a valuable job. Samurai is a valuable job. You know, they're all valuable jobs. Blue Mage, to an extent, is also valuable. Not to the extent as a lot of other jobs, but, you know, for what people play the jobs that they want to have fun with. And sometimes people don't want to invite them to parties. And that's up to them. That's a prerogative. But once you're in that party, you shouldn't really put people down for the choices that they make, because, I mean, you also made the choice to bring them in. So, no, it's Dark Day now. That's sort of how I feel about it. You know, there's just some things, like, about the game. Like, you want to play it more efficiently now, and I think to myself, if I could build an endgame group with just 12 people, and just manage 12 people that are, you know, semi-hardcore, they log on every other day, we can basically farm Sky one day, wipe it out, you know, the next time we all log on, do a round of gods or 2 rounds of gods or whatever. People are going to be a little more motivated than others. Some people are going to farm spawns when other people are offline, you know, do small teams, small hitman teams, 3-4 team, you know, groups. That's all you really need to take out a lot of stuff, you know. You know, maybe Mother Globe requires a few more people, but, you know, most of the other ones, they don't. I mean, I'm thinking about on the stream tonight going up and trying to solo Despot and seeing if I could do that. It's been years. And the last time I soloed, I think, was Red Mage Ninja, so I think I can solo it on Beastmaster. I have to get kind of the lay of land and the flamingos up there, but I'm pretty sure I could do it. So that might be something I do. And if I can build a 12-person team for endgame in Eden, that's what I'm going to shoot for. So I did establish my own progression to endgame link shell this past week called Static Impact, and we are now a branch of the Impact Gaming community, which I'm the community manager of. And if you are looking to progress in the endgame of Final Fantasy, please join the shell. I know that there are other progression shells out there. I haven't explicitly stated it, but I do think we're going to keep it relatively small. You know, we really might just look at having like 12 to 15 people that are super active in the group, and just kind of leave it at that. You know, like we don't need, we certainly don't need 30 people to do anything with. You know, Dynamis would obviously be nice to have a few more, but you know, we'll cross those bridges as we get there. Like, no one's really working on relics at the moment. You know, Dynamis might be an endeavor to just kind of make some extra cash for people. You know, I don't mind, you know, if you're splitting an hourglass 10 ways, you know, everyone's got to put in 100K. That doesn't sound too bad for me, but that might be rich for some people. So, you know, if you just pull up the stuff at the end and distribute it out, you're getting gear for people, and you're also getting, you know, money for help people make some cash. So, or bills or coins or whatever to help people make cash. So I think, you know, I think it could work out. And that's kind of my thought. You know, I don't have any officers right now, so kind of just making sort of ad hoc decisions, but you know, obviously educated ones, because we have that opportunity to be able to make educated decisions because we've all played this game and we know sort of what's expected of us when we go into Dynamis. You know, we're not worrying about you know, who's pulling or whatever. You know, we know to assign those things. We know how to make parties effectively for those things. You know, when it comes to Fafnir, we know what kind of jobs we're going to need to have and things of that nature. So, you know, I think just being able to play as smart as this day and age affords us with Final Fantasy, I think it's time that we looked at building a link shell just for that. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. Right now, I have a 75 Bard. I have a 75 Red Mage who also has a 73 Summoner, and we've got a 75 Puppet Master. And I'm leveling Ninja, which is about almost 61 now or so. And I've got a few friends who are playing, who I think are going to be playing some mage jobs. So we're definitely going to have a good 6 to 7 person squad, probably coming up in the next, I'd say 6 to 8 weeks. You know, we're not looking to rush things. 4 of us, the 75s, all have Sky already, so that's something we could certainly, you know, look at hitting up if we wanted to start doing it like tomorrow. We could probably farm a bunch of pops. Killing mobs is another story. I think, you know, at best we could probably do a Genbu, and that would be probably where we're at with that. But it would still be a challenge because we don't actually have a set tank job, so that's gonna fall on me. Tank has always been kind of my main thing anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, you know, if that's a vision that you know, any of the watchers here are interested in, you know, that's what we're looking for. Definitely just doing a sort of small progression and game link shell. You know, a nice tightly knit group of maybe 12 to 15, and who can clear basically all the content. And yeah, I know we're gonna struggle with you know, big macro events like Dynamis and stuff. Well, you know, when we get there, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about what we're gonna do when we get there. It's not really a hurry. I mean, I can actually enter Dynamis now. I haven't yet because I don't have a Dynamis link shell or anything like that. But one idea that occurs to me more or less when we were initially in Titan. None of the endgame link shells were actually big enough to do their own Dynamises for a while, so there was a server-wide Dynamis link shell that was run by a friend of mine at the time, and that brought a lot of the better players, you know, and a lot of the average players too, from all the link shells into one particular pool, and we always had a ton of people for that. You know, we would go into Dynamis with basically like a 64 people basically every time, and you know, we get drops and get money and get free lot, you know, all the bills and whatnot. So freelotting the bills stuff always felt kind of weird to me. Like, I always felt like, listen, you know, someone should either be sponsoring this shit, we get gear in exchange for them getting bills, because I always felt like every time we go to Dynamis and no one's kind of sponsoring, it feels like we're all just it creates this thing, right? The moment you get, like, for players who first started this game and didn't have a good way of forming realistic expectations, the moment you got like your relic axe, or you know, your relic sword, and you got like 4 Ordo bronze pieces, you were like, I'm gonna build a relic. And what happened was, you had all these just maybe thousands of currencies just spread out over characters that only had, like, you know, maybe 80 to 90 a piece, and all that stuff added up to a whole lot of nil. And then people would quit, and all of, that money would never go back into circulation. It just felt like a huge waste. Like, all those bronze pieces, all those bind bills, all those white shells, nobody has them now because the guy who, had like 300 of them from going to Dynamis for a year, he quit the game and he didn't give them to anybody. So, I always felt like if no one was sponsoring, it was kind of silly. But I was there for the gear for the most part early on, and it wasn't until I got a good couple hundred mil that I said, all right, it's time to dive into doing this whole relic thing pretty seriously. But yeah, I know that running a small link shell is definitely going to bring challenges for Dynamis. But Dynamis isn't the end all be all either. There's so many great pieces of gear that can still be gotten with a relatively small group up in Sky. So that is going to be the goal of Static Impact over the next couple of months. We're going to start with Sky. My wife bought me a whatchamacallit. She knows I love whatchamacallits. So, alrighty. So, we're going to give this like probably another round of spawns. I think this is the 5th robber crab in the batch here. We'll know when we go around the side of the tree if that 6th robber crab that we can't see is spawned. And I am going to kill them all just because. Just because. It's such a good candy bar. Oh, and this weekend, I am talking to my graphics artist. She already said she's going to be working on the logo. I already sent her the draft. I appreciate you, Miss Rambo, in case you're watching. Or are going to watch, which I know sometimes you do. And I look forward to using the logo. I really can't wait. Alrighty. So the thing about Aquarius is you're going to see him spawn. He's going to spawn like right around there, right in the little nook here, right here. So yeah, he didn't spawn off any of those guys. So we're gonna fight this robber crab here, who loves grass. He's the only robber crab that really likes the grass. He also likes outrunning my pet. Yeah, that's too close to the night crawlers. Come here. We're not fighting you there, buddy. I'm gonna fight you right there. Big scissors you to the face. Going back to the in and out of era stuff. Ready, that beast command is out of era. If you decide to remove it, I'll be very sad, but I would accept it. I really would. I think it would be a horrible idea. Just because of the nature of Beastmaster at this point. If I'd use a random weapon skill with my Jug Pet and it used Bubble Shower, every one of these mobs would try to eat my face. And since the jugs have their pros and cons, I think the cons list kind of highly outweighs the pro in a lot of places. And Ready just kinds of like really boost them up enough to make them tolerable. So I would want that to be a consideration before a significant decision was made, to potentially remove that particular feature. I don't think it's going to happen, but I don't like to guess. I don't like to conjecture about things like that. But I have a good feeling it's not going to be removed. I know we've got two great devs that are very active and interested in the Beastmaster job, which I like a lot. I am really glad I picked it as my sort of main. There's so many things I can do with this job that any other single 75 out of the box can't do. And the amount of risk is just so much lower than any of those other jobs when you're talking about doing like menial stuff like you know, popping NMs and killing sort of average level NMs at 75. You know, certainly there are other jobs that can do it, but none of the other jobs do it with as little risk as Beastmaster. You know, having a pocket tank, pretty amazing. Speaking of that, so I've been spending a lot of time down in the Den of Rancor. I'd said on another stream that it wasn't a place I spent a whole lot of time in retail. I was not really familiar with the area that much. You know, if you told me, hey, how do you get to Hakutaku? I'd be like, I don't know, ask the website. I still would have to ask a website, but I actually have my own paintbrush of souls now, which I did not have. I don't think I had one in retail. I can't remember having that. I know my buddy Zer did, and I never had like a reason to go down into Den of Rancor by myself for any reason. You know, I'm pretty sure we did Zillert mission there. We did a Hakutaku run or two in my lifetime, and that was that. We didn't do anything else in Den of Rancor. But I've been spending a lot of time down there because I'm trying to get well, I'm doing a lot of things. I've been camping Friar Rush down there. He is uncamped like almost entirely on this server. At least when I'm down there in the mornings, like at work, on my lunch break, whatever, I don't see anybody there. Like, I'm the only one in the zone. Again, it's a box that looks like this one. And it's the same thing. Like, it's the same thing in Den of Rancor, and I go down there and I feel very alone. And that's kind of like, you know, the Beastmaster thing. Like, you're in this area all by yourself, and I wonder if he's going to spawn off that last one just to screw with me. We'll keep an eye on it, just in case. But, yeah, I've been trying to farm Friar Rush. Sozu Blibbery has not dropped a single water spell for me in 4 kills. And actually, I have never had to spawn that mob for some reason. It is always just up when I go down there. If he's not up, I don't really try to kill the imprecators down there. They're kind of a pain in the ass to pull. But I've also been trying to farm Celestite Tosberry for the level 55 katana, or level 64 katana, actually. It's a fantastic offhand weapon. So I've been using that. I've been trying to get that from him. And I know the drop rate's pretty shitty. So far I'm 0-2. I'm also 0-3 on the Hototo Gisu mob, which is a force pop in the paintbrush room. So yeah, I'm just really trying to like gear up Ninja in a way that I didn't really gear up Ninja for retail. You know, rather than like, oh, I gotta rush this to 75, I'm kind of like trying to take my time. I feel like we're short a robber crab. Anyone else get that feeling? That we're like short a robber crab? I don't know that I killed 9 of them, but apparently I did. Yeah, I thought I still had one more to kill over here, but I guess I got him. Unless Aquarius spawned not in his nook, because he's also trying to mess with me, but no, I don't think so. Yeah, I think I really did kill all 9 of them. So I'm chatting and I'm, you know, killing stuff, and sometimes that just makes the time go faster, which is great. I like coming on here and, you know, hanging out with you guys. It's been a long time. And this may not be the most thrilling camp to watch either. But I hope that the conversation interests you a little bit. And if you have any comments about, anything, or any questions about Eden server, if you are not already a player, please feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. But yeah, so let's scroll back here a little bit. I think the first one we killed was right around 41. Might be a little bit out of my scope here. Yeah, but I think we killed the first one around like 35, and then 40. No. My timer, it was there. It was 35, and then we killed the one around 50. Was the first spawn, so we probably killed the first one around 52, 53, past the hour. And it is now about 9 minutes past the hour, so we should be seeing respawns already. Keeping courier carry at full HP when you're trying to kill all 9 of them is rough. It's much easier when you're doing the 5 or 6. So, and this courier carry is in fact familiar. And I just have a sinking feeling sometime in the near future, one of the devs is going to add the timers to the familiar pets. So right now, when you summon a jug pet, or familiar is what they're called, they last basically forever. They're supposed to only last a certain amount of time. And the familiar page on FF11's wiki tells you that. So I think courier carry lasts 120 minutes. So you can keep her alive for 2 hours. You got her for 2 hours, and then she despawns. I can have this courier carry as long as I don't teleport and I just go zone to zone to zone. I can have it forever. She'll even wait for me outside of town. So there are some things that need to be sort of balanced for around that. Some of that is just economic balancing. Like, you should, if you're going to do something with a jug pet for a long period of time, it should be some risk involved with that. In terms of losing it, if you have to teleport out or warp out, you shouldn't be able to keep your pet familiar. But right now, if it was possible for me to walk to Dinner Rancor, I would take this carry with me and walk all the way to Dinner Rancor, and keep the familiar, from zone to zone. But that's not possible because you have to go on an airship or teleport out there with Outpost Warp. But as long as I stay in this region, and a map that doesn't go through, anything that might despawn her, I can keep it forever. And that's cool. So, she's at 88. I'm going to let her tick up to full, because this might be the only opportunity I get to actually get her to full. Now, some people call courier carry a he. Some people call it a she. I call it a she because I always think of Carrie Fisher. But some people call it Carrie because they think of Cary Grant or Carrie Elwes or something like that. Neither of them is wrong. That's the amazing thing. Because Carrie really is like one of those gender swing names, All right, she's at 100. Let's go kill the first robber crab. And keep an eye out for Aquarius. You want me to look underneath the crab apron, is what you're saying? Because I'm not going to look underneath the crab apron. Whoa. Alrighty. So this is number 1. And I really shouldn't have even bothered killing these, because I said I wasn't going to do another round of pops here. I don't know, Rev. I'm not looking for Carrie's junk. It's not really a thing I concern myself with. I just think that courier carry is adorable, and it's an insecure man that makes you want to think it's a female. So, there you go. Alrighty. So, I think we'll wait for these to respawn in their entirety. I mean, I'd hate to leave Aquarius up for someone else. I don't like giving away free money, you know what I'm saying? Well, that's great. Let's see what's happening on the Discord. Looks like not a whole lot. Which is good news, because sometimes people post in the Discord that, you know, the server's crashing or something. And they complain about it or whatever. Like, that's nice. Looks like we got thunder weather coming up here, so there's going to be some lightning elementals roaming around here, thunder elementals. Nothing that we actually need to be concerned about because we are sub-thief, so we will not draw their hate. Alright, so that's Robert Crap 2 and 3 out of 5 because we killed number 1. There he is. So, there's Aquarius right there. So we're not going to dawdle, we're just going to grab it. And we're going to have an epic crab battle. So we just want to kind of get her in this little nook here, where it's safe. And that's that. Got some TP here. Well, I'm glad we're making good stream now. So now we're actually fighting NMs. So that's good. Alrighty. Now typically with a familiar courier carry, I'm gonna have to use about 1 reward, and I use Delta still. And also not pull hate. So that's pretty much that. But yeah, that's all it takes. If you're subbing White Mage, it's slightly easier because you can drop D at 2. So that really helps over time a lot. But otherwise, it's just making sure you get to 1,000 TP before using big scissors. So that you're kind of maximizing the charge a little bit. You will eventually dump all 3 charges. It's just, you know, you're being a little more efficient about it. Alrighty. So we'll probably end up using a second reward here. If Aquarius is level 71, probably. It won't tell me on here. I actually don't have the checker plugin active on my PC. I really should. But yeah, you really can't afford to lose your pet. I'm pretty sure I downloaded it, yeah. See? I did download it. It just wasn't active for whatever reason. Alrighty. Alright. Alright, now I've got TP. So we've had to use 2 rewards. We probably could have got away with just 1. But, you know, better to err on the side of caution. I also want to note that it popped off of Robber Crab number 4 in this lake. So, again, it always seems to pop off the ones that are in this lake here on Eden. It never spawns off of the other 4 outside of it. Maybe if I kill them in a different order next time, I'll be able to observe. Or I just might do that. Because I'm just thinking, you know, I'm biasing the results by starting with the lake, the bigger pond here. So, you know, maybe I'll switch it up next time. Alrighty. Coming down to it. We didn't get a decloth, but that's alright. Alrighty. So, we didn't get a decloth. That's alright. We'll come back another day and try to get a cloth another time. So I am sub thief now. I do not want to be sub thief for the next couple of things that I plan on doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk back to the outpost. And we're going to warp back home. I'm assuming that this region is under nation control because it almost always is. That's great. It is. Oshima Uplands, however, isn't. So that's been a problem for me all week. Because I've been spending all that time in Dinner Rancor. And then I can't just walk out and, you know, and get home. I have to teleport out, which is fine too, but then I got to go to Maya and buy a Chocobo and Choco to Boobarimo, and yeah, it just takes a while. I haven't had any warp cudgels in a while either. Some of that is just being cheap, though I have really no reason to be at this point. I have pretty much all the gear that I'm going to need to get... Well, I can't say all the gear, but I can easily afford all the gear that I need to get Ninja to 75 at this point. None of it is really expensive. I mean, even the katanas are not expensive, and a lot of them are just going to be rentals anyway. Because I'm probably not gonna merit that job, not at 75. But you know, stranger things have happened, so perhaps I will. I think the lesser colibris are kind of a hot spot. You know, sync 54, 55, all the way to 58. You know, that's, for the average player, that's about 50k XP. I think in levels or so, 40 to 50k. And that's 4 to 5 merits, so I am still pushing for that Hototo Gisu. I really do want that thing real badly. Because it is a 54 offhand katana. And the other one in Dinner Rancor is a level 64 katana. So 10 levels apart, and they would both really cover both those level ranges. And the Kitsusuki, the higher level one, will take you all the way to Purdue Blade, which is not available currently on Eden anyway, because we don't have enough Treasures of Ergon missions unlocked. Well, by golly, once we do, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to buy the damn thing, because I have a lot of Imperial standing. 14k, I don't have as much as I thought. But certainly by the time we get there, I will have a shitload of it. Alright, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the outpost here. Carrie is not at 100%. She's at 17, but we're going to lose her once we warp, so just let her die over here, I guess. We have some options. So we can go on down to Den of Rancor and continue to try to farm Celestite Tosberry. No treasure hunter will be involved with that since I have to go sub white mage. Optionally, I could go slash ninja, but I don't want to be blowing a lot of sneak oils just to move around. And if I plan on putting Fire Rush into my cycle, it probably would be best if I subbed white mage. Yeah, probably. In fact, it's really not an option to go anything other than sub white mage. We don't have Monomiichi, which I really wish we did. If you're gonna add an out of error spell to the server, man, add Ninja Sneak, please. That'd be so wonderful. I would just love that, you know, to be able to run around a ninja or beast ninja and not have to worry about buying silent oils all the time. Just silent oils. And there's times where I almost forget to buy them too because I'm so used to running around as sub white mage because of Beastmaster that I think, oh, I really don't need to like worry about, you know, buying them all the time. So, well, I'm not going to do Valkyr Emperor. I'd thought about it. It was on my mind, but Den of Rancor again. What I don't like about it is it's a lot of indoor rather. Long respawn timer kind of stuff. So I think maybe we'll go up to Sky. Maybe we'll try to pop Despot. I mean, that's a possibility. Let's see. I don't know what those guys are doing in there. Maybe they're camping Shiki. Is there a way to search Talia? There is. Ruan Gardens. There's a paladin and a puppet master up there. That's interesting. I wonder what the conquest there looks like. Oh. Beastman dominant, it says. This guy Mako, he kills Lesser Galus all day long. Makes all his money that way, I guess. I'm not getting an update on the conquest for Sky. It's just saying Beastmen are dominant. Next tally 65 days. Is it possible? Can you only see it if you're like there? I mean, I don't know. Ah, okay. That's fine. Yeah, I figured you had to be in the zone. Alrighty. So let's go and sub white mage. The other option is we could sub thief if we really wanted to, but we have to go on a job that most likely is going to be taking a few hits. Just a few, I would say. And be able to heal itself as well. So, you know, blink is nice and all for the spin move, but we want to make sure that we can sustain a bit longer than just, you know, a few shadows and having to rest for HP. We don't want to have to do that. Anyone want to pay me money? No. I got another Boyata coffer key. I'm never going to need that, so I'll just drop it. I'm sure I got a lot of stuff I don't need right now. We're good there. Alright. Got sub white mage. And we've got 4 hours on our thing. Yeah, that's good enough. So we're gonna go right back out to Lead to Lore, and we're gonna run up to Sky. Cause why not? Alright, Sky is in another direction. since I'm no longer embarrassed about my sub job, I will turn Anon off. I just hope I don't get invites for Beastmaster parties, which happens all the time. So, alrighty. So we're gonna run up there. You know, it's interesting. There is an NM up in Sky that I do want to kill. I believe it's the Nightmare Vase up there. That is, it drops a katana that's pretty good. The Shinogi. And it's level 72 to 73, which is totally killable. Yes, it's in Romaev. And I don't know where it spawns exactly. Let's see. Lottery spawn from the magic flagons can spawn on either side. Wow, this thing has a and more than one can be up at a time. Wow, that just suggests to me that the drop rate's probably garbage. If it can spawn multiple ones, chances are it's gonna have a really, really bad drop rate. So maybe I don't really much care about that particular katana. I care more about the ones over in Temple of Ugalepi and in a Rancor. But I only have one Tonberry rattle, so if anyone in my link shell or wants to help, wants to go gather Tonberry rattles on their characters over the course of 2 hours every time, that'd be awesome. But I would never ask anyone to do that. So, except I ask Kin and Bushy because he has 2 characters. So I say every time I go to Ugalepi, I'm like, go grab this Tonberry rattle. It always spawns in the first room on the north side. There, and the Tonberry rattle spawns every 2 hours, so if no one's got it, you can just grab one, and if we got 4, we can do 4, and it's 15 minutes in between each respawn, which really sucks, because the mark has to, it's a force pop, so you gotta wait for the mark to respawn or whatever. But yeah, it would be cool to get that katana. It's really good. It actually is an offhand katana with a 185 delay, and it has accuracy +3. It's freaking really good. So yeah, Rev, if you're listening and you're in the area of Ugalepi, go and get a Tonberry rattle and keep it in your inventory. I keep mine on me all the time. Alright, so a couple things to keep in mind here. Normally when I am camping, I deactivate my charm activation and my tame. So I'm not going to actually use tame. Tame slows you down a lot, so I'm not going to bother with it. This is my charm gear, by the way. 74 plus 32. I don't have any dance shoes. I really should buy dance shoes. Another 3 charisma. I really have not had any issues farming. Farming money to get them. It's just I keep forgetting to actually go and buy the dance shoes. I'm sure they're hideous, and I wouldn't put them in my standing gear set. This is my idle set, which is really just my charisma gear with some MP bonus, so I can cast Stone Skin and Blink without losing MP, because when I engage and put on my combat gear, I do drop like 30-40 MP, so as long as I cast that stuff in my standing gear, it's MP well spent. It's not lossy in that sense. Yeah, I'll let you know. What you farming in Sky anyway? Who farms stuff in Sky? And I mean, magic pot shards are cool and stuff, I guess. They probably sell at a comfortable rate, I would imagine. Light clusters, yeah, those are pretty good. I get some stacks of clusters when I'm out in Den Rancor. A lot of the all the tonberries drop light crystals. 1 minute sneak isn't gonna get me through roam I have. Come on. It's got to be like a 3-minute one. That'll get me through. There we go. Let's see. Where is Nightmare Vase on here? Yeah, it basically spawns anywhere. So I don't know where the heck it's going to be on the wide scan, to be honest with you. When I get closer to the center of the map, I'll wide scan and see if I can see it. If I can see it, maybe I'll try to kill it. Yeah, I figured it's in that second band. Because there's 4 magic flagons that I can see on wide scan. Magic, I don't see the vase anywhere though. Yeah. I'm not really that interested in it. The katana, I think, is like level 52, so it's like I'm already like way past it. Let's see. Yeah, it's level 52, so it's not a big deal. The only good thing about it has 28 damage on it, and you don't actually get to 28 damage until like after level 60. So for those like 8 levels that you could use it, it would be really good. Except that the way to design gear progression in this game is just, I don't want to say poorly done, because the idea is you go and level up a job like whatever Beast or whatever to 75 Ninja, something you can solo stuff with, to be able to equip your lower level jobs more effectively. But I don't know, the way you blow through levels so quickly with Treasures of Ergon bonus and all that stuff and Empress Band, it almost seems kind of like a waste of time to spend 3 or 4 hours getting a drop rate, a low drop rate weapon to equip for like 5 levels that you're gonna blow through in probably 5 hours plus the time, and the time you just spent camping, it could have just been going through XP. So I just feel like there's always been some balancing issues around the amount of time it takes to actually do things. Like I'm spending a lot of time camping the Kitsusuke. The only reason I'm doing that is because I know the next best offhand is not even available in the game. So it's going to last me all the way to 75. And it's not going to even be my offhand weapon for every little situation, because stun katanas are just better to have in pairs. So there's going to be a few things where I'm not going to use it, for sure. So it's just a big issue. It's fun. It's fun to be like, I really put a lot of heart and soul into, getting this particular weapon, and it feels good and it feels rewarding, and it definitely hits that dopamine spot. But then you look back and you're just like, this katana is gonna be on the floor someday. It's not gonna last me forever, because it's gonna be useless at some point. I'm gonna replace it with something else. Weapons, unfortunately, are not things that get side graded very well in Final Fantasy, and I think that's what the augment system was really there for, to sort of be able to take maybe a 1 damage lower weapon or 2 damage lower weapon and put some stats on it that made it seem effectively like as good a weapon as the one above it or about the same. But there's no augment system in this server either, so that becomes another moot point. It's neither here nor there. So I think I clicked off my screen. There we go. Alrighty. So we're going to take an inventory of the flamingos. Yeah, there's that pep burn party that's forming there. head on up. And, you know, if this doesn't go well, because I get bored of it, or Despot doesn't spawn, or Despot kills me, there's always just the option of turning this all into one giant merit scheme. So I may just do that. Alrighty. So the first thing what we're definitely going to have to do when we get up here is, let's see, I like weather effects on. I also like the footprint effects on. I don't know why those aren't on. Footsteps. Yeah, there we go. My PC can handle these. Why aren't they on? Yeah, I can't have them on my laptop, but I've got a GTX 1070 in this thing. I think it's fine. Another reason to idle in a decent amount of MP is to be able to cast re-raise, but I cast sneak in Romaev, so I'm gonna have to rest here a little bit and get some MP. I'm going to unload my Beastmaster stuff, and we're going to check the region info. He said Bastok is second up here. Looks like. Yeah. Well, you know, it'd be nice if someone could get Sky access, and if it's going to be Bastok, that's fine. It makes it a little easier to, I think, take something from another nation rather than the Beastmen, because the Beastmen is just like, it's such an uphill battle with them. But I feel like another nation state, that's better, you know. And being able to warp directly here to Sky would be so amazing. I know eventually Sandy will get access to it. I'm going to try to contribute to that a little bit tonight. Because, yeah, being able to port here would be so cool. We would save that, like, however long it took to get here. Let's see. 28 minutes to, yeah, it took me 11 minutes to get here. So imagine saving all that time. It'd be just great, wouldn't it? Alrighty. I know we've got just enough MP to do all this thing. Yep, it's 11 minutes to get up here. I got a little lost in Lead to Lore in Sanctuary for a second. I took one wrong turn, but I corrected it. All right. So we're gonna rest a little bit again. Let's rest up, and we're gonna want to get I still need to buy a damn dark staff. I keep forgetting to do that too, because I'm not generally spending like a ton of time on Beastmaster these days. So yeah, I'm like always forgetting, oh yeah, I should go look for a deal for a dark staff, you know, because I've been sort of leveling another job. Let's see what dark staff is going for on the auction house. 230k, but there are people selling it for 177k, 179k in Bastok Marketplace, and they are online right now. So that's a place I really should go to. I should really be thinking about getting a dark staff just to have it, and it's already in my Ashita macro for resting. I just, yeah, can't equip it because I don't own it, so that's a problem. All right, so let's get Stone Skin and Blink up. Pretty standard procedure. Put the volume up a little bit here. Alrighty. And we're going to reload our Ashita. Okay, so we've got a number of flamingos. I know we've got... Let's see. They're usually opposed to one another. Like, it's symmetrical. So there's one here. There's one there. I think there's actually 3 on each one of these sides, you know. So let's see how... Here's a good one, level 74. I'm going to try to snag that one. And we're going to try to spawn Despot. Because why not? I'm assuming he's not already up, you know. And I don't think anyone else is farming stuff up here, so should not be a huge problem. Yeah, let's just make sure he's not already up. But I don't think he is. Yeah, sometimes people spawn it, but they can't kill it, so they got a zone and stuff. And then he resets or whatever. Okay, so no, he's not up. So let's start at the end of the row here. I don't think there's any way for me to get in there, so I gotta have to literally pull them out of there. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. So it's kind of like an XP party. These flamingos, I really hope they hit hard enough to kill these things. I think with my help they do. I don't see why it would be a problem. This groundskeeper's only level 75, so... Meltdown. Alrighty. So I'm gonna go leave this ground. I'm gonna go leave this flamingo. On the grass because he's a pretty good level flamingo, level 74, so I don't want to lose him. And I think it's safe to cast over here somewhere. Seems like it. This one's level 72. What's that flamingo over there? He's also 72. Yeah, these are pretty weak ones. You know, normally I would spend some time converting them. Let's see. Yeah, we don't want to fight ones that have a huge level disparity. Not if we're rocking a 72 bird. Alright, that one's okay. 75. We can do that. There we go. So it just becomes like an XP party, essentially. All by myself. So there's a 3-level difference with these flamingos that I'm not a huge fan of. I'd rather they all be 74, but they seem to do just fine, so I can't really... Like, this one's doing pretty well. So it doesn't seem that bad. If the flamingo dies, I don't mind so much either, because, I mean, he's just going to respawn at the same or a higher level. Can't get any lower. And birds are pretty good pets, too. You know, they double attack. Yeah, they're pretty hardy. Good evasion for a warrior-type mob. Lots of HP and good defense, so I like the flamingos. They are very good. They hit pretty damn hard, too. This guy's gonna melt down, too. Alrighty. If we were treating these like bombs, we'd be pretty happy. Maybe I should treat them like bombs. I don't know, man. Let's see. Yeah, well, I may need to rest a bit. Let's see. Right, this one was 72 as well. I could have let the other one despawn, I suppose. I've got an idea here. Let's pop a regen when we get to 15 NP here. So we're getting some HP back while we're fighting. Okay, the reason that I'm being cautious about it is because when these things spawn, they, when Despot spawns, he will aggro to the player. Like immediately. Pretty much immediately. This is outdoor stuff, so I better not wander like crazy far here. So that's why, number one, I'm pulling them away from their spawn point. But you also got to be wary because he will be programmed to aggro to you. So if you walk back through and you don't check ahead of time, he will try to kill you. This is making a good argument for why I should have a dark staff. These guys actually do pretty well by themselves. This is a 3-level difference battle too, so if this guy was a 74, I think he could solo a groundskeeper. Should switch to limit points. Start gaining some limit points. Heal him up. And I really don't care how long it takes. I'm not like here looking for like, you know, XP per hour or anything like that. That first groundskeeper is already back, as you can see. So I was hoping he would just freaking melt down already. Because I can't very well stone skin and blink over here, so I have to really get away from the battle here. And if Despot spawns there, I'm not going to be ready for him. Let's go check on our flamingo. It's still alive. He's gonna die. I might be able to reward him. See if I get there fast enough. Yeah. Yeah, I can take him out. It's not a big deal. Just can't cast any spells. Yeah, give me those evasion and parry skill ups. I need those. I don't even know if my axe is capped. It is, okay. I wasn't sure about that. Wow. Now I'm gonna need to get out of dodge. The moment I kill this thing. Let's hope Despot isn't following me. Alright, very good. I think I made it out safely. Alrighty. Let's see. Put a bar fire up, I guess, and then use my leftover MP for regen. So where's that 74 flamingo? He's my boy. This guy. And in fact, oh, there's another flamingo over here. Oh, he's also a 74. All right. Well, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this guy killed and or converted. So if we do fight Despot, we would certainly like for all the birds to be 74, but that's that's not really realistic. So yeah, that one's 77. I'm really not trying to mess with ones that are 77. That one's 76. That one is 75. There we go. Yeah. We'll fight. Why not? I'm out of drink. I feel bad. So essentially, there are 8 birds just right here in the courtyard. So if I can keep Despot bounced between the 8 birds and make sure none of them die, using leave before like they basically get killed, I should be able to take them out over time. I mean, it doesn't seem like it would take that long. I have to be mindful of a couple of things. The sprinklers that are around, and using blink and stone skin on myself, which I am going to have to keep up, because there are going to be multiple pet swaps in a fight like that. So that's one thing to be kind of concerned about. I'm pulling hate here. I got to be careful of that, because the bird misses sometimes, but I tend not to miss. So that did a decent amount of damage. Let's see if I can rampage without pulling hate. I doubt it. Yeah. But we're okay. I don't like being restricted in terms of the spells I can cast, but these things miss a lot. I'm like shocked. They have some piss poor accuracy, because it ain't like I'm a beast. It ain't like I'm a ninja here, you know. All right, let's get out of here. My parrying skill's going up. I like that. I like that a lot. So yeah, basically you gotta kite them around in a square, and just change sides or whatever constantly. But it's totally doable. Yeah, I don't want to go into any of those, I don't want to go to those, like, sides or whatever, without having, blink and stone skin up. I mean, there's no reason for me not to, so, yeah. I really should try to buy a dark staff. That's about all we need. I think these guys aggro magic at 20, so I'll be okay. My level 74 guy's healed up at least. Come on, buddy. And I like that these birds are pretty easy to charm too. They're not giving me any trouble. It's pretty smooth. I guess I hit 50 MP. Alright, very good. Yeah, haven't spawned them yet. So we're gonna 74. It's just a lotto pop, so this one is 76. We could do that one. That one's not a big deal. We're just fighting him at the entrance here because it will spawn in the same alcove, I think, and I just don't want it to aggro me like immediately. At least that's how I think he works. I'm gonna look up. I'm assuming that the behavior is the same, but you know, I don't actually know. Let's see. Despot will spawn shortly after his placeholder is defeated, where it was defeated, and claimed to the player that defeated it. Despot will spawn unclaimed if the person that defeats the placeholder is engaged to another enemy or too far away when it spawns. The placeholder is killed by a pet and the pet is released. Despot will spawn unclaimed. Okay, yeah. So that's what I want. I want him to just be up and like walking around. I don't want to have to, you know, engage him immediately. I want to have the option to engage him when I'm ready to. Sweet, it's melting down. I don't know that I can run out of range of this, so. But we want to run away anyway. Okay. Yeah. Where's my birdie? There he is. I want to leave you here, buddy. I don't want you to despawn. So, killing groundskeepers, not easy. Because of the meltdown, and they don't melt down with all that great of a consistency either. It seems like, yeah, because they have so many weapon skills. Like, it's a lot of them to pick. It's a lot to pick from. So, they're not always going to choose the one you want them to. It'd be great if they all just melted down like bombs right away, but that doesn't happen. So let's make sure we keep our stone skin and blink up, because we can't cast in that arena. Alright, we've got, we probably want to be able to get another Cure 3 and a regen, so that's another 61 NP plus the 48 that I want, so we're looking at probably like around 120 is what we really want, and anything extra is just gravy for the refresh effect. Alright, we'll take another tick while we're sitting here. We probably don't need to cure ourselves now. I think I cop out at like 1280. Oh, 1339. Okay, so I think in combat gear it's slightly less though, because the Beastmaster AF gives me health that I'm gonna drop out. Yeah, a lot of this stuff gives me health that I'm not gonna have, but I can afford to cast a regen at least. All right, let's go. Yeah, ideally we find a level 75 one and kill that. Alrighty. That's 76. 76. I mean, we'll kill a 76 if we got it. It's not a huge problem. There's a 75. Let him do its thing. Yeah, they have good evasion. The weapon skills do hurt a bit. The single target ones, anyway. This battle's a little closer than I'd like it to be. There we go. Wish I could cast Dia. I really do. Just checking wide scan, make sure I didn't miss them or something stupid, you know? But I know I didn't. I'm just... Alright, the one that spawned up is also level 75, so that's cool. They never melt down when I'm not meleeing. They never seem to want to. Gravity Field, Panzerfaust, Typhoon, Blitzkrieg. Just do the one I want you to do. How about that? Helldive is good. Pro and Shells dropping. Now it almost seems too late to hope that this thing will melt down. But if it does, we should be ready to run. Patience. Patience is a virtue. Tell a lot of people that, you know, you gotta practice patience sometimes, especially when you're dealing with stupid people. But here we're just dealing with a stupid mob, so we just have to know it's AI. Let's see if Dustspot's gonna spawn right there. Nope. Okie dokie. So this flamingo, I think he lives on this part of the grass. I don't know if he's gonna despawn there. Alright, he's alright. Yeah. Hey, a mischarm. I'm okay with that. Come on, buddy. Love you. Wife came to check on me, make sure I was still alive. Alrighty. So, like a good Beastmaster, we want to make sure that we are prepared for the fight. I mean, I'm treating them like bombs. I'm being real conservative because, you know, going into something unprepared when you're by yourself, it's not really great. So, I want to make sure that I have everything I can possibly have at my disposal. I know Bar Fire wore off, so I'm going to throw that back up. Alrighty. So glad that I got this Gaudy harness. I really, I can't express how appreciative I am for the people that helped me get this thing. Certainly I tried to get it myself for some time, but you know, sometimes you just can't get something to drop, and you need friends there to help you out. So, and they were there, and we got it, and it was great. And this thing is such a game changer. It is such a game changer. Oh, this guy came out a little bit. Yeah, it is such a solid piece of gear. Just getting refresh, even if it's only up to 50 MP, because 50 MP is fantastic. It's enough to cast Stone Skin and Blink. Those cost 48 together. So yeah, it's a very well-tuned piece of gear. It's like, you know, it's not too overpowered. It's not underpowered. It's just right, and it has charm, a charisma +3 on it. It really is just like an all-around great piece for Beastmaster and for Bard. Like, without a doubt, the thing is so good. It's so good, and I wanted to get Foam Unaxes so bad, just for that piece of gear. Just for that, nothing else, because it's worth it. And a lot of those Subligars are. I actually ended up getting the the Nokizarugi as well for my ninja, and I did get the Subligar for Thief in case I ever need a Rappery harness. That is like a best in slot piece for Thief. It's so good for you know, TP set and Utsu Cat recast set. It's really, really good. If you are a thief aspiring to do some interesting solo stuff, highly recommend you get a Gemini Subligar, because that thing is great. Really, the piece of gear that I would really be shooting for next would be a Swift Belt. That would change the game even further for me right now. Another 4% haste would be absolutely glorious to have. Alright, so we're going to stand around, do a lot of standing around now, because we want to make sure that we can run in case of meltdown. Oh, we've got Sick back up, so that's cool. It's funny. I'd be killing these so much faster if they would just melt down. I really should just... I freaking really guess I really should just melee them. I mean, I don't know. I've done it both ways. There's a little more recovery time with the melee part. So we got a respawn here. He is a 77. Not cool. I might have to start clearing out some of the 76s though. So I'm gonna run out of the easy ones at some point. Alrighty. Let's get out of here. Kind of want to hang around and see if it actually despawns into Dotspot or not. Because I really do want to know its spawn behavior. I want to know if it spawns after the, you know, the body disappears or what. But it doesn't seem to be wanting to spawn yet, so... how this flamingo over here is. Is he still 72? I thought I got him killed. He is still 72. Alright. So I think what we're going to do with him is we'll probably try to get him killed here. Since we have time. Let's get stone skin and blink out. Alrighty. Let's go, buddy. So we're going to definitely want to find a 75 or 76 one for this, because killing a 77 with a level 72 pet is a little too tight for me. Alright, so there's a 76. With our help, he should be okay. And I think if I use leave here, he'll probably just wander back. So I'm okay with that too. I wouldn't mind testing the range on some of these guys. Turn on high quality shadows, because why not? I know in Valkyrie Dooms, like, having shadows on is like deathly. Well, really any of those big areas, it's rough. Even with a really good PC, like this game, it's not optimized very well, and definitely not for newer stuff. It really struggles to convert DirectX or whatever the hell crap. It just really blows. But it looks great at 1440p. I will say that. Can I rampage? Yeah, again. Oh, wow. Wow, he did a great job there. Now I crit. Now I'm going to take 8 back with my next hit, probably. Yep, we're doing a little trade-off here. Until the flamingo lands a hit or a double attack. This is going to be my life, I guess. There goes Blink. Thought I was going to have Rampage there. There we go. Let's see if Despot spawns off that one. Nope. Doesn't look like it. Close one there. Alrighty. Let's go grab a good one again. And one more MP. Blink. Timed that pretty well. Let's go, Mr. Flamingo. He's got TP right out of the gate, too. This will be nice. Well, it says Sandy and Bestock are allies in this region. that's interesting. Alright, so we've got a level 74. I'm gonna kill this 77. Gotta risk it to get the biscuit. Let's make it happen. This will be an actual real battle. It's not a bad XP spot. You know, merit spot if you're into just making really boring XP, but I'm not, you know, it's risky to do these groundskeepers. If there was like 4 or 5 like right up the middle, that might be cool. I know there's a few that roam around. I know definitely there's another camp that's probably way better. I think if you go into the islands, you know, any of these islands like these areas here and running across the bridges, there's a number of groundskeepers that spawn there. And I think they're devoid of, actually I don't think they're devoid of sprinklers. There's some elementals around, but elementals are a little easier to avoid. They tend not to move too much. These sprinklers, however, they roam all over the place. Very interesting. Now, I think I've been up here, maybe 40 minutes, give or take. I'm just trying to see how long it takes for it to spawn, if it's going to spawn after death. I don't know how long that is exactly. I have no idea. Let's see if we can get a 75. That one's a 78. That's worse. 76, 77. There's a 75. Move my way, boys. right in the doorway. This is a good spot actually to fight these guys. Just kind of want to reset, see what kind of pace I could be making. I'm not moving very quickly because I'm being very conservative about things in general. And if this flamingo died, I wouldn't care. So let's see if we can make that happen, but get enough use out of them. I mean, I love how hard they hit. They hit harder than the groundskeepers. So I'm down with that. I mean, this one is level 72. He's hitting between 100 and 109. And the groundskeeper, which is several levels higher than him, hitting for maybe like 15 to 20 damage more. So yeah, it's pretty good. Yep, there's the meltdown. So again, if this bird dies, I don't care. I'm going to despawn him since I have the opportunity to do that. Let's see if he spawns off this one. Looks like he did not. And that's okay. Yeah, that jar is too close. I'm going to have to run back here and heal up. Alrighty. We're going to have to rest. Well, that's not true. We'll rest in combat. Let's go. I would like to be able to cast Stone Skin and Blink prior to combat, but we'll treat the next one like a bomb. We'll just send it. We'll just send it in. Hey Joe, thanks for resubscribing. We appreciate you. This one is 76. So let's do that one. Come on. There we go. That's interesting. That's rather nice. Free Amazon Prime. Can't go wrong with that. Our bird is not doing so well, so let's go help him. I don't know what birds eat, but I hope he likes this biscuit. Seems like he does. Let's try to get a little more MP. If these things would just frickin' melt down. Oh, well, that's a wonderful glitch to have. It really, really is. Congratulations on your free 2-day delivery. Anytime you want to order stuff you know you don't need, but you want anyway. Because I feel like that's how Amazon gets us to spend money. Like, we know we don't need it necessarily in 2 days, but yeah, it'd be nice to have it in 2 days. Because I can have it in 2 days. It's just one of those things. I wonder about, you know, the overall psychology of this. Alright, that one melted down. Nice. Thank you for melting down. Is Death Spot gonna spawn off of it? I'd like to not be super close to it, but I'm just trying to get a read on what the behavior looks like. I have no idea. It's been so many years. And honestly, because I was able to navigate Velagun and Palace and stuff much better than some of the people in my LS back in the day, I was never on despot duty. I don't even I remember what it looks like when it spawns. I think you just kill the thing and it just spawns, right? So I'm just kind of going with that idea. Oh, okay. That sounds like a great monitor, man. There are so many people that say, you know, 1440p doesn't make a difference or whatever, but and neither does the 144. But I tell you, it's hard to go backwards once you have it. I mean, anytime I boot up a PC game, in the past, obviously, because I'm playing this game now, so it's kind of consumed my life. It was just like, all right, how can I get this thing to 120 or higher? You know, I need to know. And there were some games where it was very much, not only was it a feature and totally plausible, but it just improved the overall gameplay. It made things feel so much smoother and nicer. Pillars of Eternity, even the CRPGs I played, they had the ability to really crank up the settings on a lot of those games. It really wasn't that significant, but it made the games look nice. So, you know, that's what you pay for. You want your games to look nice. You want them to have high refresh rates, but also good resolution. And 1440p 144 is such an amazing compromise for the people who are like not super into 4K, don't want to spend the extra money, but also really want to have a good frame rate. And I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't gamed on 4K 60 because when I bought this monitor, which is Acer Predator 144 also, it just... refresh rate is king, man. This is what it comes down to. Refresh rate is king. And even though I'm not taking advantage of my refresh rate, because this game is pretty much locked to 60, I still appreciate the quality of the picture that I'm getting. The colors are amazing. The smoothness is really amazing. The G-Sync is amazing. Like, just everything on it is amazing. Nice. Very nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I run a GTX 1070, and I can play pretty much all the CRPGs and even Rocket League when I was playing that a lot. And I played that religiously for like a year at 1440, 144 capped out. Like, and this monitor actually overclocks to 165, and I could get Rocket League up to 165, but I think that's kind of where it was like, I don't really see a difference between 144 and 165. But, you know, you keep it on because it's overclocked, and whatever. You turn it on, turn it off, doesn't make a difference. But, yeah, just having that capability just is amazing. Like, I would love to play games in 4K. I have a 4K TV now. I don't have a 4K console, but I have a 4K TV, and I'm sure the games would look absolutely amazing on it. But I feel like I'd be sad because it's not quite, you know, high refresh rate that I'm looking for. And I think I'm addicted to that. Well, you know, some like the PS Pro games or whatever, they do have different settings. Some of the, you know, developers have put different settings in that are very PC-like for you to be able to change menu resolution and size and things like that. And I think that's something that, you know, game developers didn't think about right away. even some of the PC game developers, it wasn't something that they thought about. Like, oh man, our menus are going to be super tiny and our text is going to be super tiny. But they've since figured it out. They've figured it out, and things look good. You're right. It was the same problem with 1080p. You're absolutely right. I mean, when you think about this game coming to Xbox, because I had this game on 360 Xbox for when I was really lazy and didn't want to hook up my PC when I was going back and forth from school and home and back in college. And the menus on this game on Xbox were like, Jesus Christ. They were like the 480p menus, but the game itself was in 720p. The menus took up like the majority of the screen. It was insane. Good times. Good times. Oh wait, where was that level 75 one? It's right there. Yeah, The Witcher 3 is actually the game that got me to upgrade my PC. Because I played probably the first like good portion of the game on my old GTX 680. And then I said, you know what? I need to finish this game in a much better resolution because it was chugging. It was just chugging. So, yeah, Witcher 3. That's what got me to upgrade my PC a couple years back. My re-raise effect has worn off, so that's going to slow things down a little bit here. It's not a thing I like to see right now. I have a 6700K overclocked to 4.8 right now. I'm not sure if that question was directed at me or all the people. But yeah, my PC's good for a while. It's pretty good for a while. I mean, I don't play a lot of graphically intensive games. I stick mainly to CRPGs. My last few games were DOS 2. Before that was Tides of Numenera. Before that, I was playing Baldur's Gate, the Enhanced Edition. So I mean, the games look amazing in 1440, but by no means do I need to have a PC that's this powerful. I played Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. Obviously, I'm a Fallout fan. I've played all the Elder Scrolls games on PC, obviously. So I like open world RPGs. Witcher 3. Played all the Witcher games. Witcher 1 was really just a different breed of game than any of those other Witcher games. Man, the complexities of that game's combat system were something else. I hate to have a discussion about it, but I mean, Fallout 4 was an okay game. I think it has its shortcomings for sure. There was an improvement in sort of some of the functionality, like not having to go into corpses to pick up stuff, and a lot of that stuff was really cool. When I bought my monitor, I thought about, man, should I have gotten an ultra wide? Should I have done that? Should I have gone for the 34-inch, Predator? I don't know. Fallout 4 gunplay, yeah, it was better, but Bethesda still has really janky gunplay. Overall, I think it's not as janky as Deus Ex. I'm gonna tell you that though. Deus Ex, it seems like The gunplay in the first Deus Ex game, Human Revolution, was such an afterthought to that game. It was a little better in Mankind Divided. A little bit better. Well, that's true. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna modernize a game series like that, which it deserved to be modernized and to have a revival, I feel like there could have been a better sort of overall approach to certain elements of that game. You know, like there was a lot of issues with the bosses in Human Revolution. You know, they weren't made to be taken out by stealth characters, which is really terrible, because they outsourced the battles to some other company, and it wasn't a great cohesive experience. Human Revolution, or Mankind Divided, did a much better job, but still the gunplay is kind of weak in a game where you have the option to play guns. So I feel like, yeah, you're not going to devote 100% of your development time to it, but the system should be polished enough that it is functional. And I felt like it wasn't always functional. And the shortcomings of Fallout, the Fallout series, though, as far as Bethesda's implementation of it, the gunplay isn't the greatest. It's really VATS makes up for a lot of the shortcomings, though. Which is not to say that they should get away with having shitty gunplay or not, top tier gunplay, but that's just the reality of it. Like it's an FPS, sort of, kind of. And the gunplay is not at the level of like a Battlefield or a Call of Duty. And it's not going to be either, but it could be better. It could be a lot better. You're right. You're right about that. Those games definitely suffered from way worse problems in that vein. Like, I'm with you on that 100%. Let's see. I'm gonna pull this guy all the way over here. Let's fight, I guess. I don't have re-raise up yet. So I think I'm going to do is I'm going to help my pet get ahead. And then I'm going to reward him. And I'm going to run away. And get somewhere where I'm going to be able to cast re-raise. Berserk is fine as long as my flamingo hits, and he's hitting for like 20% more damage, and my guy doesn't get hit. Alrighty. We should be able to use some of this time here to run away and get re-raise up. That's gonna be ideal. Sort of want to be able to keep an eye on the battle here. I'm a little disappointed we weren't able to spawn Despot. Certainly there wasn't anybody up here killing it earlier, because I checked and only Rev was in the zone. There's a few people. There was three other people in the zone doing various things, but nobody has walked through the Despot area. So it's a bummer because I really do want to attempt to solo it. But it seems like that's not going to happen. And I know that it's not a short solo. It's going to take me 20-30 minutes to do. It'd be lovely to capture on film here. Alrighty. Let's get away. No spawn on that one. Don't get stuck on pillars. Come on, buddy. I'm trying to take you back to the grass, man. You like the grass. He loves the grass. He only chills out on the grass. He must love the grass. So all this time running around not taking MP is a waste of time. Should have got Blinking Stone Skin back up. But gotta be mindful. So if anybody watching from the server is looking for a progression to endgame Link Shell, we have just established one called Static Impact. We're looking for level 30 plus players. Probably 50 plus at some point, but 30 plus right now is pretty good entry level. And we're looking to do mission content to start, which means COP, progression, getting Sky, and then just being able to do little events based around that stuff. So, you know, maybe pop farming, Swift Belt stuff, Sublagar farming, that kind of stuff, to help gear people out. It's kind of our goal right now, and within a month, hopefully, you know, within the next 2 months or so, I guess is kind of what we're targeting. Looking to push endgame with a core of maybe like 12 members. That would be sort of an ideal thing. It's me, Gray, man. It is my night to stream. Yeah, you should have. This game came out in 2002, 2001. I'd have to look. It's a long time ago, man. I mean, if you talk about North American release, I think it's 2002. Yeah, it's pretty old. It's pretty old. I played this in college. And I played the fuck out of it in college. Yep. And a release got the base game plus Rise of the Zillard expansion. And right now we are in Rise of the Zillard area. Doing, actually doing some endgame content, I suppose. You can consider this endgame content, I suppose. Trying to pop one of the 8 NMs up here that drops an item of which you need a pair of. You need this item and another item to spawn one of the 4 endgame bosses in this zone. So this thing drops Gem of the West. Which at this point, I'm just going to bank it. I mean, I have no actual plans for the spawn item itself. But it'd be nice to just have it. It is an entirely online game, yes. It is an MMORPG. This one's level 73. Yeah, I'll grab him. This is a private server, but yes, they do still have servers for this game running. This is a private custom server that is tuned to about 2007 era of the game itself, with only the first 3 expansion packs. Yeah, it's still sub-based. I think it's still $15 a month too. It's crazy. It's crazy that this game is still going strong. Well, I don't know how strong it's going exactly, but it is still out there. Certainly, it's not Final Fantasy XIV numbers. I mean, Final Fantasy XIV has been a very impressive, impressive subscription-based game in a world of free-to-play model. It's doing really well. It's doing really well. I mean, they talked about how they have 16 million, have had 16 million accounts or whatever, and they have over 1 million active accounts right now that are playing on a regular basis. So, yeah, it's pretty insane. It's pretty good. I mean, it's obviously not you know, WoW peak levels or anything like that, but Square Enix also has its hand in a lot of things and always has, and Blizzard for a number of years only had WoW as their kind of one online game, if you didn't consider, you know, StarCraft in the same sort of fashion. At least that was a single player game as well. Blizzard threw a lot of money at WoW, and they definitely got their payout. Active accounts 14 million. Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy stuff. I'm not going to do this one without helping the bird. So this one's getting a little dicey on me. So now I'm running the wrong way. I'm kind of doing it on purpose. And I'm really hoping that he doesn't spawn off of this one, because I won't be ready. I won't be ready. We're gonna have to pull all the stops out. Yeah, I think WoW's free till like level 20, right? I don't know that Final Fantasy XIV is free. Is it? Free till 30. Okay, yeah. It's a fun game. I played it for multiple years. I was the guild master for Neutral Impact for probably a good 3 years. Since 1.0, we established when that game was a piece of shit. Because we were all crazy and trying to relive our 11 days. But the game has certainly gotten better, and we raided several nights a week, 4 or 5 nights a week. It was great. But what I will say about it is, you know, there's something about the predictability of scripted battles that kind of pushed me away from MMOs. Like, you know, I think WoW was great in revolutionizing raids as an idea. You know, like, let's get people together and have to execute this strategy that requires us to all sort of play our role. The raids in games like Daeok, EverQuest, Final Fantasy XI had a lot more RNG involved to them. There weren't the level of scripted battles, not even close. a mob might do something at a particular percentage, but it wasn't like a consistent thing. And it certainly didn't like change phases multiple times like the bosses in WoW do. So they revolutionized a lot of that stuff, and that's cool and all. But there was something lost, I think, in the translation of making a game so heavily scripted to the point that strategies became just there's one strategy to do this, and that's kind of how we do it. And I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of that. 11 had to be flexible because you could play every job on one character, and you could use different setups for the raids, and what we would call raids, I guess. And there certainly were some comps that worked better than others, no doubt. Ways to sort of maximize the efficiency of the things going on, but they couldn't make it so that it was so scripted that you had to have this job in your party to make something happen. And I think that it left the game design a little wider open, I think, than perhaps most gaming companies would be comfortable with nowadays. But the resurgence in old school MMO ideology is interesting, and I've been saying for years in the community that I feel like maybe old school MMOs themselves aren't something that's coming around, because certainly a game like this would struggle in the market nowadays. But there are certain ideas that are baked into this game that have been long forgotten. Things like socializing, things like forced group play to a large extent, that have been foregone for monetary reasons, financial reasons, accessibility reasons, things like that. But the games lose they just lose something when you don't need to play with a consistent group of players. And I think we've seen the breakdown of social structures within gaming because everything's become so pug, pick up, put down, pick up group stuff. Nobody creates social bonds anymore, And I know a lot of content creators talk about this, but it's something that I've harped on for a good 10 years. FF11, when I saw WoW and what FF11 were doing was great. Once we started moving into different types of MMOs that were all WoW clones, it just very much became like there's no need to socialize. People are disposable. We rep people constantly. We don't form relationships with people, and to me, that's not how gaming should be. So, thank you for stopping by. So it is interesting to see the resurgence in some old school MMO stuff, like like RPGs staying with Pantheon, which is, for all we know, is years out at this point. I very much follow the Pantheon subreddit, and I gotta tell you, the people there aren't that sweet on the game. So, nobody there. Everybody there is optimistic for the gameplay. Nobody there is optimistic about when the game is actually coming out and what it's going to be able to deliver in terms of promise and development. So there are some serious problems with a game like that. It's making a lot of promises, but we don't exactly know when they're going to execute any of them. So it's hard to say. There's other games, Ashes of Creation, Crowfall, another one that slips my tongue right now that has like a permadeath mechanic to it. Stuff like that. And, I think those MMOs are going to be, there's going to be something that comes out of that group that is more than just a flash in the pan, something that maybe has some staying power. And it looks like Pantheon should be it, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be. And, when we're talking about Brad McQuaid and crowd-funded stuff, I think we have to approach all of that with some caution, because MMO developers have promised a lot in the past. Look at WildStar. There was huge promises at WildStar, a return to, values and gaming and old school content and 40-man raids. And, we had a WildStar group in IGC, and people very quickly realized that they have kids and jobs, and that the old school vanilla WoW kind of implementation of attuning to raids and spending 12 hours just to get access to something wasn't what they actually could do, despite the fact that their will was telling them, I really do want to do this. I want to be involved in something hardcore again. And let it be a lesson to people who are very much involved in real life now, with wives and kids and full-time jobs and whatever you do. You do not have the time to play an MMO like you did in college. Do not think that you do. You don't. And you also don't have the patience for it, because you are old and it is beyond you now. So, quell your expectations a little bit. Manage them, because, this is easy for me to play because I've played it already. It's by no means like something I'm like, damn, I want to become the best of the best again. It's the drive. The drive is there to experience it, to have fun with people, to meet some new friends, to expand my community. Certainly, there are a lot of small agendas there and desires that I have, but I don't want to be cream of the crop. I mean, I'm not looking to do that. I'm not 25 years old and trying to be the best player in the world ever again. I'm not trying to be world first. I'm not that mentality. And I think a lot of people in their 20s, because we don't know better, go for that stuff, and that's cool, But one out of 30 million people actually becomes a professional League of Legends player. You have to manage your expectations somewhat too. Yeah, there's been a lot of that. A lot of next big MMO stuff, I think, we saw so many WoW clones and so many Korean grinders come out pretty much rapid fire throughout the 2000s. Things have slowed down significantly, since 2000, I would say, probably since about 2014. Things really slowed down a lot. My community shifted into MOBAs and tabletop gaming because there weren't enough MMOs coming out rapid fire every year to sustain new player bases all the time. And we realized very quickly that when these flash in the pan games come, we can get 60 players in the community. That's not a problem because people are hungry for a new MMO, a new experience. But they don't stick around once that game is gone, and they also get a very bitter taste in their mouth for MMOs. So I think the genre defeated itself. But now, we've had kind of a cool down period, I think, with MMOs. And maybe something like Pantheon, something like Ashes of Creation or Crowfall have somewhat of an opportunity to penetrate the market greater. But it just does seem unlikely when we're not getting something as basic as a release date. Developer roadmaps are nice and all, but you got to be able to deliver on those things. The other thing that has taken fast hold in the world of MMOs, because publishers aren't throwing money at them left and right because they're no longer the next big thing. People have decided that chasing the WoW money is never going to be a thing, so we got to stop doing it. All this crowdfunding stuff has actually really restricted access to MMOs. I mean, if you go over to Pantheon's FAQ page and look at their tier packages, they have pre-alpha, alpha, and beta access packages, plus a whole bunch of other stuff available, right? In order to get access to the alpha, the minimum amount of money you need to pay, all right, for like their gold tier, whatever, is $250 up front. For a game that has a dozen videos out there that are all in pre-alpha state, that you can kind of see what the vision for the game is, but you're not getting the whole thing. You're looking through a telescope. You think you're seeing a lot of the universe, but you're really just seeing a dot. And the beta tier, which who knows when beta is? They don't even know when alpha is $100 minimum buy-in. So that's a lot of money to throw up front for a game that you don't know is going to be good. I mean, $100. That's twice the price of a PC game these days. For an MMO that's also going to have a monthly subscription on top of it, like, that's crazy shit, man. That is just, and I was talking to our development guy who runs all our financial stuff. He's probably listening. He's probably watching, about directing some of our giveaway funding that we get from Patreon and stuff into a universal account where we could actually penetrate the game, have access to the forums, and use that account to not only play and have multiple people sort of try out the game and see what they like for it, but also just be able to recruit, right, and build up an actual base for the game. But the buy-in is so high, and which means the risk is so high. You know, what if the 5 people here that want to play Pantheon, or think they want to play Pantheon, I should say, right now, really think, yeah, I would love to have access to that account, and then we give it to them, and they check out the game and they realize this isn't for me. That's $100 of donations that we just threw away, and maybe in some case $250 if we went all the way in, right? So the risk was too high. We talked about it. This weekend, and I thought, you know what? It doesn't sound like a bad idea on paper, but the risk-reward situation is immeasurable, because all we know is we're taking a risk. We have no idea what the actual reward is, other than potentially bringing in a new game to IGC in 2022, 2023. We have no idea when this game's coming out. Pantheon's not coming out next year. So for anybody who participates in the IGC draft, if you are going to select that game, you're an idiot. Don't do it. Do not place any bets on that game coming out anytime before 2021, and that's being optimistic. So, this is like me pulling back the curtain on community management right now. The Final Fantasy stream. So, if you guys want to hear about that, but this is the process of, I think a lot of gaming communities are going through it in the same way. Is it easier to buy in on a single account to get your players to try the game and decide, yeah, we want to establish in 2 years when this game comes out, right? And have a yay or nay for that now, but throw money out the window possibly? Or is it easier to literally just find, right now, 6 to 10 people who have already bought in $100 or more, who you can get on a single Discord, who are all waiting for this game to come out with bated breath, I feel like the first path is easier, because at least it gets you in through the door, and you can try alpha up front and decide, even as a community manager, a game manager, a guild leader, whatever, that, yeah, this game has legs. If you have the experience and you get onto a game, you can tell if it has legs. And you're looking at bugs and saying, oh, this is some of the same old shit, or oh, this looks innovative. If you're intelligent enough, educated enough, you've played enough MMOs like myself have, like AI Monster has, we could probably figure that out. But the risk it's a lot of risk, man. It's a lot of risk. Have a good one, Joe. Info on the IGC draft is available in the information section. We also have a gilded document about it, so if you're eager, you can go take a look there. Does Despot want to pop for me? He does not want to pop for me. Yeah, pretty sure this NM doesn't exist for me. I've absolutely been up here for 2 hours now, and I have not seen him up there. But since Joe asked, and if Joe's not around, I will clarify. The IGC draft. So if you've ever done a fantasy football draft, it's exactly that, but instead of drafting players, in December of a year, we will draft video games that are coming out, that you hope that are coming out next year. And then when your game actually releases, we look at the average Metacritic score, and that is the score you get for that game. You get to pick 5 games plus a wild card, although the amount of games you get to pick is based on the amount of players that we actually have in the draft. So this year we had like 7 players. I think we got to choose 4 games in a wild card or 5 games in a wild card. The wild card is your last pick, and it replaces your lowest score. Every quarter, you can swap out a game that has not released for a game that has also not released for that year, in hopes that maybe, if a game gets a non-release date, like right now, Ori and the Blind Forest, for example, or Ori and the Will of the Wisp, sorry, got pushed back. So someone probably picked that on our draft, and they now have confirmed it's not coming out this year, so they're going to probably swap that at the end of August when we do quarterly swaps, because that makes sense. So, stuff like that. And then the end of the year, whoever has the highest average of the games that they chose wins the draft. And the draft win is a $50. I think it's a $60 prize pool this year. We've done something like $75 in the past. It really just depends on things like donations and whatnot. When you swap games every quarter, you get a penalty for that. And you get a cumulative penalty based on how many games you've swapped before. So your first swap is -2 to the score of the game that you swapped in. The second one is -4, then -8, and if you swap a fourth time, it's -16. So no one really does that unless you swap a game every quarter, which is like you'd be insane to. When you're drafting the games, obviously you can't draft a game that is already drafted, and you're seeded randomly using a number generator on the first round, and then we snake draft the games after that. So we've been doing it for like, I want to say 5, maybe 6 years. It's super interesting. It's sort of something you forget about, after a while. But we have a draft channel on our Discord, and our development guy who runs the draft, he keeps the document updated. He tells us the scores. He tells us about games that we should probably swap because of pushbacks. Times like this, like around E3, when we recognize that games are getting release dates, and some of those games are on our current draft that we thought were going to release this year, he highlights that you're going to have to swap that because you're going to get a 0 for it. You don't want to have a 0 on your draft card. So, that's like having a useless player on your draft team. So, it's really interesting. We have refined the system over the course of the 5 years that we've been running it. There are some specific rules about remakes, remasters, imported games, things like that, that restrict the types of games that you can actually select. But for the most part, almost anything is open to be chosen on the draft, as long as it hasn't been chosen before it gets to your turn to pick. So if anyone is interested in running a video game draft for next year, you'd like the rules for it, we certainly can show you what our rules are, and you can borrow them and modify them for your group of guys. You can do it on a given night. You can get together in a room, or you can do it on Discord. We use Discord, voice chat, and text chat to do the draft, and we do it 14 days. The last 14 days of the year is when we try to do it. To make sure that every game has released already that's on the draft list. We know who the winner is, and we can start to take attendance for the next year's draft, and anybody in our community can sign up for it. And there are people that drop out during the year too because they leave the community or they no longer are interested in it, and we throw those games back into the pool to be selected, so they become swap potentials. Sometimes you just pick that one game that just scores so well on Metacritic that it really carries you for the whole year. But you got to be careful to also pad that score with other games that are, relatively decently scoring. Because even that one 90 score game can be brought down by you picking a 60. So, it's a lot of risk, but it's a really fun system, and I participate in it every year. It's so much fun to do. We used to... Oh, I got Despot to pop. There he is. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put Despot on widescan. Alright, there we go. Track him. And then we want to go buff up. We've got re-raise, so we're good there. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to recast Protect and Shell. And Stone Skin and Blink. Alright. Let's get some MP. Why not? So what we're going to do is we're going to start in this corner, and then we're going to train him up to this corner and then across, and then we're going to keep him going around. Once we get past these two birds, we know they're probably not going to heal up fast enough, so we're going to have to ping pong him between the spots that have 3 birds down in the south area here. So that's going to be a fun little challenge. I'm going to have to put Blink up as well. I don't know why I missed that. Alrighty. So let's get going. Alright folks, I'm going to try to solo Despot with flamingos. So let's see how it goes, huh? Alright, well hopefully this takes less than 27 minutes, because this is also going to give me an idea of how fast he's actually going to chew through these flamingos. Alright, this flamingo's at 72, so that's not too bad. I want him to run back here, though. Alright. Alright, I see him on wide scan. There he is. I'm going to try not to get hit by his weapon skills. It's very, very important that, one, that I don't mischarm, so that's a problem. That's a pretty huge problem, actually. Because I don't want him really coming after me. He's going to do a lot of weapon skills in a row. Once all these birds get hate on them, it will no longer be like an issue for me to, what do you call it? For me to keep hate off of me. Oh, sick isn't ready yet. I thought it might be. I think I might just be able to keep them in this area. I can cycle through these 3 flamingos pretty well. Yeah, I think I can keep them in this one area here. Yeah, he preserves hate on the mob, so it's a little easier to deal with. The pet swaps are kind of safe, in a sense. I can rest if I really want to. I feel like I should take this tick. Yeah. Take the tick. Use sick. And probably let the bird get down to about 30 and then swap, yeah. That seems to be a pretty good way of going about it. So, the next bird, yeah, that's not too bad. It's a pretty good rhythm. That's probably a good swap point. This guy started running away on me over here. So now my hate is starting to approach being higher than, yeah, these mobs. Yeah, so I've got to start making sure I cast things out of range. And no longer being sloppy. Did he take a blink? He did. I'll just recast it. It's not a big deal. What's the next one? This one. Yeah, he's got a decent amount of hate on that one. No. Gotta get to 30 to not generate hate from resting. I kind of wish I'd set up these flamingos to all be level 74. We've got 2 73s and a 74. Something like that. It's not bad. Could be better. We gotta start thinking about a swap here. That's good. Oh shit. Okay. These swaps are going to be rough because he's all in one spot here. Yeah, that reward was a bit much, I guess. Sorry, I know you're talkative. This does take some concentration. So I'm just trying to, you know, manage that right now. Doing some headspace calculation here on swaps and stuff like that. Like, I know where I'm supposed to go next. It's just, it can be a little challenging to time it right. Especially when I'm trying to get ticks just to keep my MP up. I really don't need to worry about my MP that much, like at all. And the only thing that really screw me over is a mischarm. So I'm not like gonna go extreme on it or anything like that. And the Dias are very risky because they keep my enmity going up. And okay, you know, I have to be careful about where I rest. Man, my blinks are down. It's kind of a problem. He's coming after me still. Gotta get away from him. Gotta get away from him at least enough to cast Blink. Okay. That's not too bad. The next filament goes to one that's right next to him, though. That's gonna be fun. I'd much prefer it to be this one, but he's not gonna be healed. Again, we do this in 10 minutes. I feel like it's taking a long while here. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. All right. Don't miss charm, please. I wonder if the Dia is what's like, you know, keeping the hate going, the ticks going or whatever. Is he still following me? Yeah, he is. The bird's got to hit him. That's the problem. And he's got to hit me. That works too. do not want to cast Regen on myself. I just want to cure it in a burst. Because otherwise... Sick isn't up yet. It is a possibility that I may need to, that I may need to cast Re-Raise. And that will be a challenge. He also popped at max level. He's 82. So this could have been a slightly easier. But that's never how my luck goes. I mean, I always end up fighting the highest level, the hardest thing. All right, that freaking bird is getting sauced. All right. These flamingos, they need to heal. I mean, it's okay. I have plenty of flamingos to mess with. It's just nice to kind of stay in the same area, you know? Not worry so much about things. Alright, the hell dives and the wing cutter's missing. Really, really hurts. Shit, I need MP. Yep, I'm not going to be able to cast it this round. Because what I need to put up is Blink. Alright. And I know that this flamingo is next. Casting Stone Skin over here is kind of risky, but I gotta do it. It's really not much of an option here. I'm gonna have to cast Stone Skin or Re-Raise when I come back around, I think. see if I can get a tick in here. It's going to be rough. Let's see if I can rest here. That's fine. We got a good flamingo here. Other one's gonna be full in just enough time, so. He's still chasing me. I mean, I gotta cast Stone Skin. I can't not cast it, so he's really taxing my yep, there he goes. Yeah, re-raise is down now. So that's a big problem. But we've got blink for like 40 more seconds, so. This may be where I'm able to get it off. We'll see. All right. I'm going to do a swap. Without blink. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, he's gonna want a piece of me. Oh yeah, we got sick up as well. Come on, come on, come on, one more MP. There we go. Oh, it's not up yet. I thought it might be. Oh boy, he does not like me. Oh boy. All right. We lost Pro Shell, but none of those things are really necessary. As long as we keep Stone Skin and Blinko for the pet swaps, we're good. And we got to make sure we swap a little faster. So this one's at 31%. We're cutting it close, man. This guy's at 90, 95. And he's the one who's been mischarming a lot lately, so... yeah. The damage is the only way we're shedding enmity in this battle anymore, so... it's really dragging on. And we've got to keep our MP up, and we've got to keep Stone Skin up. And I don't have enough for Stone Skin right now, which is a problem. Alright, Blink's at 3 minutes. Stone Skin's at 4. I don't think he took a blink, so we are okay. We still got 2 blinks. This is one of our higher level pets. And we're going to go to the 73 in a second here. Alright, here we go. We gotta swap now. Luckily, Sick is up. Hopefully, Hell Dive will actually hit. It did. That's wonderful. We have to use MP to heal this time. Alright, Death Spot is at 18. 17. It's coming after me. And Blink is down. He missed that time. Well, I've got just enough MP to recast Blink. But I gotta get to 30. I think I still get hate from my ticks even after past 30 for whatever reason. He may just have a larger, range for that or whatever. Don't miss charm. Double miss, huh? That's your game, Flamingo? I mean, yeah, whatever works. If getting hit sheds hate, go for it, buddy. Hit me all you want. Just don't come after me after I lose hate. I gotta get a I mean, preferably get 2 ticks here, but I don't know that that's gonna happen. It might. It might. 53 on the pet. I'm gonna check the distance on these pots here. All right, we got enough. This is the next charm target. I don't want to lose that damn bird, so I gotta release him a little early. He's in the middle of his weapon skill cycle. This guy's got TP. Alright. We're looking good. We're at 11%, 10%. He has a slight regen. I think he's coming after me. No, he's not. He does have some regen, though, because he went from 10 to 11 there. Alright, next pet is there. And did he swipe a blink? He did not. He's been hitting me through blink. I'd love for this flamingo to get to full. Alright, that flamingo is at full now. He gets all bugged out. That's fine. I'm buffed up. The flamingo misses. Oh, flamingo. Stop missing. It's not over till it's over. Keep doing exactly what you're doing until it's completely over. Let's get a sick command in here. Please don't miss. It's gonna miss. Well, this is the next flamingo, so what's the other one looking like? 70. I can buy a little extra time. Use the bush as a protection. I intimidated him. That's hilarious. Did you lose hate on me finally? Come on, buddy. I mean, I'm trying to let him hit me, you know, a little bit. So I can shed some of the hate, but he's not really that accurate. Am I gonna get that blink up? Nope. That's hilarious. He's coming after me. He is not keeping hate on the birds very well. Or the birds are not keeping hate on him. Thanks, Rip. Oh, birdies, you did well. Well, we did something. So, you know, our goal tonight was just kind of let's do some NMs. Let's see what we can do fucking around or whatever. And we did Aquarius. And then we spent about 2 hours less than 2 hours trying to actually pop Despot. I don't know exactly when we pulled him, but it was a long time ago. I mean, Link Shell Chat, I said 71%. That was 28 minutes ago. Let's see. It took 13 minutes from there to get him down another 14 or 24%. So, yeah, it took probably a good 50 minutes, 55 minutes to solo that. There was a few ways it could be improved, I think. I would, in the future, probably want to prepare one of these patches of 3 flamingos, convert them all to 74, so that their best level they could possibly be. That's pretty much all I can really think of. I could have made the solo path a bit wider. My original idea was like, I'll kind of start here and then run up there to that flamingo, then across the courtyard, and then back down south, and then run back, to the west here. The problem is that the flamingos are weighted 3-1 from the south to the north side, so I would have to double up here in order to give time for the other flamingos to regen. I figured out around like 80% that if I swapped the flamingos right when they're around low 30%, then it would take 2 swaps in order for one to regen pretty much back up to full. So it can be done with just 3 flamingos, as you saw. It takes, obviously, it takes almost an hour. As a duo, it would probably take a lot less time. It would definitely take a lot less time, but you would have to let one Beastmaster probably sort of go between the 3 flamingos here, and another Beastmaster pulling from another camp. So maybe like across the way to the east, or something like that, because you need to have consistent pet swapping. And if one Beastmaster can kind of stay outside of the range and shed enmity like that, it might be better. Summoner might complicate this a little bit. But I think if you just do like a Pred Clause or a Spinning Dive release, it might be okay. That Summoner's going to have to rest somewhere pretty far away, though, and if Despot books it to him, it's problematic. But yeah, the more pets you can have, obviously, the easier it would be. But if you want to low man it, it's just a matter of it taking a really, really long time. I think there's probably another... I don't know. I actually don't know if there's another one that Beastmaster can solo well enough up here. But certainly I can farm Gems of the West, with some consistency. I mean, that was my first try ever doing that, retail or otherwise. So that was fun. I mean, it never really seemed intense. I think I got down to like 770 something HP at one point, which, I mean, wasn't even a big deal. There's some cautionary things about, when to use Dia, when not to use Dia if you choose to do that. Watching out for the roaming sprinklers here, as well as the 2 that are in the spawn zone. I don't know what else you could really go over with something like that. Resting outside of its range. I feel like the ticks still pull a little bit of hate because the pets miss a lot. Obviously, that's why it takes so damn long. And when they get hit, they shed a lot of enmity. So it may not be that my ticks are pulling hate necessarily. It may just be that, flamingos aren't like super strong pets. They're not like pucks or monk type pets or mandies or something. They're strong, but they're also level 74 at best. He was level 82, so that's another thing to keep in mind. Despot can spawn from level 80 to 82, and that guy was level 82 according to Checker. As you can see, every time I hit the fight thing, it does a check on the mob. He was level 82, so he was the max level he could have been. So we just did basically the hardest version of Despot we could possibly spawn. So that was a lot of fun. I hope you guys loved watching it. Thanks, Rip and people for hanging out. I'll probably be back. You know what? I might do something on Sunday. It really depends. We don't have a podcast this Sunday, so I think the stream schedule is available. If I do something like that, it might be in the afternoon. So thanks, guys, for stopping by. and watching. I hope that you enjoyed my crazy Beastmaster stuff. And I'll see you next week. Take care.